Alexi says, how many percent of rake party poker take on these spins? 4%. 4%. What does the lime tag mean? Lime tag is a reg of a particular persuasion. So these are all reg tags that you'll see. I need to table again. These are all reg tags you see. So light green, dark green, blue, orange. They don't mean that much, to be honest. Slayer, for example, was red because he made a big bluff against me way long ago, 9 months ago or something. 3-bet and triple barrel, and I was like, oh my god. And then we gave him the reg tag. And I just never bothered updating it because, like, they don't mean that. But they're all regs. How much tradition do you think players do against recreational players and also other regs depending on notes, etc.? So, yeah, it's a good question, Mr. Jingles, because I think it's one of the big differences between regs when you get to a certain level and you can kind of plateau a little bit and you learn a kind of systematic way of playing and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to play like the solver, I'm going to play equilibrium, I'm going to play my ranges, I'm going to bluff this hand, I'm going to raise these hands, etc., etc. And typically they're kind of like initial things to kind of remind me about. So Poker's Fun, again, I've been playing for a long time, but probably very early on, him or username would have done something which earned them the lime tag, which is capable of hero calling GTO. But yeah. Hey, Nikki, I like Gabe, and you've got all the emotes together. That looks beautiful. Nice. Pot Jam Knight says, what side is this? No PokerStars at the moment. Good luck, good luck. Thank you very much, Pot Jam Knight. No, we haven't played on PokerStars for a good 6 or 7 months, to be honest, on stream. We're playing Party Poker because we're pretty close to our Diamond Club Elite, and with the Diamond Club Elite will come quite a nice few perks. So unfortunately, no, it doesn't look like a Bahamas tournament, so it might be Cyprus instead. But yeah, you get the Cyprus tournament, or you get the 5K tournament somewhere, and an online tournament for some amount, and yeah, 20K when you hit it as well. 60%, 65%, something like that. We'll follow 2-4 off here. Junior King of Poker using the graph successfully. That is the PokerStars graph. Party Poker is not as good. Hence why we haven't put it up there, because, you know, can't really brag about it, so might as well. This is close. I wonder how much they've adjusted. I'm going to fold because they should really adjust their ranges with the small blind calling super wide there. We'll call King 5 off on the right here. I'm going to rejam King Jack suited. Didn't hold, unfortunately. We'll try another 250, see what happens. Alright, looks like Papasaurus is kind of committed to grinding them. I wonder if someone stopped playing, if they've stopped battling 5s, other people. Lost Brother says, how shallow do you have to be to auto shove and call? Here's an example of how we have to auto call because we're super shallow. As the boy Nicky says, auto shove 1.4, auto call at 2.6. That means just range. Obviously, if you're like 4 big blinds, it's still going to be most hands. But yeah. Shove the Jack 3. We'll check the Queen 2. We're going to check here. Quads. That's a good hand. Yeah, we'll limp trap King 10. I mean, could also just open jam this as well. We're going to start with a limp with 9-5 off. 3-bit shoving the queen around here. Ooh, we're still calling, but it's kind of a little bit less. Yeah. We'll go for a bet with a 9-5. I'd say it seems wide to me to 3-bit shove King 10, but maybe it's something. We'll fold 9-5. We'll go for a call with 10-7 off. Okay. We'll go for a jam on the king 10. Call the king 10. Did no want to see no ace king of spades, but we'll take a 9. No, I didn't want a 10 there. That's too late, that 9. Listen to me, but then, yeah. Okay, let's go back to one table, because I can't, my brain's too old and slow, and I can't keep up. Oh, Koalati has redeemed Hydrate. Thank you very much, Koalati. Now, we will hydrate. I don't have a Diet Coke here. And I feel like that's why we haven't played brilliantly so far today, because we're lacking proper refreshment. So I think we need to start the halftime show earlier and then go and get some Diet Coke, because it's an emergency, is my opinion. But thank you, Koalati. We will be hydrating, and I appreciate your reminder. We will just have to do it in 20 minutes or so. Annie, can you use Nash charts? Nash charts, I believe, are banned on nearly every site. They are banned on Stars. They are banned on Party Poker. So you should not be using Nash charts while you play. It is obviously difficult for some people to police because, I mean, some, like, you could just write whatever and have it on a notepad or something. You'll notice sometimes many people watching the Twitch stream will notice I do make mistakes with some shoves. It's, yeah, because I'm not looking at my Nash charts. So no Nash charts. And it is Team 601 policy, as well as poker site policy, to have no in-game chart usage where it's not permitted. So please don't. We're going to limp 10s. Mr. Jigger says, how much adjusting do you think players... we're just going to jam versus this size. How much adjusting do you think players do against recreational players and also other regs depending on notes, etc.? So, yeah, it's a good question, Mr. Jingles, because I think it's one of the big differences between regs when you get to a certain level and you can kind of plateau a little bit and you learn a kind of systematic way of playing and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to play like the solver, I'm going to play equilibrium, I'm going to play my ranges, I'm going to bluff this hand, I'm going to raise these hands, etc., etc. And you do okay, and you can get to be a solid winner in most stakes. The problem, I think, is that you never quite move beyond a certain... let's check again. You never move beyond a certain... your winner is a bit capped in a funny sort of way. I'm just going to go min bet this and just try and target a queen or a 10. Could even go bigger, but... I mean... I'm actually going to pot. Nah, I'll tell you what, because he could have an ace. He could have limped some ace-x at this stack depth. Like an ace-queen suited makes a lot of sense. If it was, weirdly enough, if we were a couple of big blinds shallower, I think we could go bigger here. But I think when we min-bet... Very weird. So, does he really check back a jack on the turn? If he doesn't, we could jam this as a bluff and try and target his ace-queen, ace-9. But does he? I guess. I mean, like, we just can have a jack here, so it's a pretty difficult raise to make with a bluff. But it could be the case. They did ISO bluff us, so he might be capable. Definitely something to think about. I mean, yeah. I guess in theory, bluffing with a hand's not the best. We want to actually take unpaired bluffs more than paired bluffs, because like we want him to have a hand like ace king suited, although he probably doesn't have ace king suited, but ace queen suited or something. I don't know if it's good to block king or not there. Anyone have an idea? Would that be good or bad? Anyone think whether it be good or bad? Not sure. I think this is a jam. Might be wrong. 4.8. So yes, I think you can. It's not only about like how much can you adjust, but also the ways in which you can adjust. And I think there's so many ways within poker that to adjust in more ways than just the initial adjustment that lots of people remember. So it's like, hey, this guy bluffs, and so therefore I'm going to call more. Great. But you can actually restructure huge amounts of your game plan around that. Moving from the flops, the rivers, the turns, the flops, the pre-flop, Or vice versa, someone doesn't bluff too much, you can, again, restructure your entire game plans. And so it's, I think the more powerful and more disguised adjustments are when they happen, the kind of intra-street adjustments, when you're making adjustments on the flop to combat a certain river adjustment, or vice versa, when you make a certain river adjustment based on a flop adjustment that you think from your opponent over c-bet bluffs, for example, and suddenly you're calling rivers wider. Stuff like that is very, very important. But yeah, and he says, do it. Do it. Could have done any, couldn't we? Could have gone for it. I was tempted. Okay. We'll go for a probe here. I think it's a bit too weak to check call, and I don't want to check fold with this hand. I don't mind sizing up a little bit, because I think we would have some two-pair combos that we want to be perceived to take this way. He will have a lot of, like, snap call turns and then have to fold rivers, and so I think it's okay to bet and barrel quite frequently with some bluffs in this spot. Hey, we've actually hit a hand, and so now we have this sort of strange thing. Now, Poker's Fun did go for a little bit of a strange, not strange, but he went for a possible bluff. We're going to go 1.5 and call a raise. It gives him the opportunity to take a hand like 10-7 or 10-8 and maybe turn it into a bluff, or maybe call with them. We could go bigger as well, of course. Whoa, he had top set. Wow. Blimey. Well, it's lucky we hit. It's lucky we hit. The fact he has top set and didn't think about raising at all there makes it very interesting, because he was the guy who raised on that four card straight, which means he basically only has a jack there and he doesn't raise two pair, I would guess. If he's snap calling top set there, then presumably he's not raising two pair in that spot, given both cases where he was up against blocks. So is that good or bad for us? It's probably bad for us. He's probably more likely to have bluffed then in that situation. But I don't know. I don't know. That's very interesting.